Peace, y'all. Welcome. We live on WHCR 90.3 FM radio, the voice of Harlem. And you see, I got me a guest today. Omar from Omziel Healing Sanctuary. Let's go. Let the theme music play. All right. Let me go close this door. So Omar, what we gonna discuss today real quick so the YouTube people can get a sneak peek before we get on live?
Say again?
So what we discussing today?
Oh, yeah, of course, mental health, but the mental aspect, I love that part of it, So, I know we're aware of mental health awareness, and it's coming up more and more, bro. It really is, yeah.
It's always it's relevant, always relevant.
Yes.
More so now than ever.
Yeah.
So, oh baby, rise and shine.
Rise and shine. Rise and shine.
Let's see. I don't got my stand up here, but yeah, we're gonna go through this real quick. It's gonna be nice.
That's beautiful.
Be smooth.
I love it. I'm excited. Like women, they always come and get their mind right. They always, right?
All the time.
All the time. You scroll, you see them at the yoga, at the meditation, at the sound bowl. Like you see one or two, sometimes no guys. Yeah, it's crazy. But
it ain't right. We changing it though.
We changing it. This is our contribution, brother.
100%.
Pay attention. That's all you have to pay is your attention.
Just your attention.
Super affordable.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Alright. We're going to turn this down a little bit and we're going live. Hold on, let me get my opening. Oh yeah, peace be with y'all. Grand rising on this beautiful Wellness Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of the People's Healing Hour. I am your host, known in the streets and in the clinics and in the forest and on the farms as the People's Herbalist. And I am extremely happy to be alive today, to be taking some breaths this morning. And I have a special guest, man. So this week, we recognize Minority Mental Health Month by exploring and questioning what many men have been conditioned to avoid, right? The question is, how is your mind, really? How is it? Many men are taught to carry pain quietly, to solve every problem alone, and to equate vulnerability with weakness. Yet, unaddressed emotional wounds can shape our relationships, our physical health, our leadership, and our communities. Today's conversation introduces the idea that trauma can act as a pathogenic trigger, a life experience that alters how we respond to future stress. While trauma itself is not an infectious pathogen, unresolved psychological trauma can influence the body's stress response, emotional regulation, and overall well-being. Healing then is not simply about surviving what happened, it's about restoring the internal resilience needed to move forward. And our guest today, Omar, founder of Omziel Healing Sanctuary, has dedicated his work to helping individuals reconnect with themselves through breath work, cold immersion, sound healing, and ancestral practices through community. And as Omar says, God doesn't make imperfect things. We certainly pick up some junk along our life journey that isn't useful, as I did, but I am a testament to the ability of humans to take healing into their own hands and in community and transcend the past. So, man, this weekend, this Saturday, we have an incredible event coming up for men's mental health and leadership. And I'm very, very happy to bring back my boy, Omar, from Omziel Healing Sanctuary. Omar, how you doing today? Talk to the people.
I'm doing amazing, absolutely amazing. I tell you, I don't see why people would complain. They go, no need complaining. But what would you complain about?
People always find a way, unfortunately. But you're alive, man. You're on the right side of the dirt. You're breathing in fresh air, and you have opportunities aplenty.
That's
You know?
beautiful. I
That's
love that. It made me think of the prayer that I have almost every day is, oh Creator, thank you for the breath that's inside of me.
yes, yes. Yo, Omar. So before we jump into topics, how was your 4th of July?
It was fantastic, man. I spent some time with the kids, which is always a blessing, and you know, trying to stay away from the crowds and the
Right.
noise and I mean, people act a fool and stuff like that. So try to stay away from those type of things. But just time with the kids and self-reflection, that's always wonderful. How about yours, brother?
I'll say the same thing. I took the time just to relax. I'm not a big 4th of July celebrator, right? I do love the fact that we can chill, maybe barbecue, grill, go someplace nice. Obviously, the weather is normally very beautiful. We had a little switch up this year. You know, I know a lot of people was out there having a good time, barbecuing and relaxing, and then boom, out of nowhere, that temperature dropped.
Yeah.
That wind came through.
I was looking for the sweater. I was like, well, I packed it away.
Yeah, man. I seen people scrambling. I seen footage of people on the beach, Jones Beach, in the Jersey Shore. It looked like they was in Dubai during a sandstorm. That wind kicked up, had to be 60 miles per hour, knocking over trees. Just people's houses getting hit, cars getting demolished. It was like, that was not what was expected. I think the Lord had something to say about 250 years of America. I don't know. There might be a little symbolism.
Okay.
I mean, they say everything happens for a reason, but people always like to look for a reason. You know, weather fluctuations are one of those things in life, and yeah, that definitely caused a damper in a lot of things. I know some people had lost power. A lot of people had some property damage. So if, you know, our prayers are out to you if you had some unfortunate activity occur during what is supposed to be a relaxing and joyous occasion. But, you know, they did something new for this year that is unprecedented, and they put a whole bunch of LEDs and lights on the GWB. On the
I saw that.
Have you seen
I saw
it?
that. I
Seen it
saw
lit
that.
up at
Yeah.
nighttime?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool.
Yes. We're on the Jersey side,
Right.
and we're like about 20 minutes from the George Washington Bridge. And if you walk like a few blocks down, you could see it. So, yeah, it was unprecedented. Actually, it's the Robert Kennedy Bridge, right? Nobody wants to call it that. They keep it at the George Washington. I'm like, oh man, poor guy.
Yeah, nobody want to switch things up.
No.
Change is difficult for people.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I know for sure. I think it's probably one of our superpowers, the ability to navigate and handle fluctuations in life. Change is the only constant in life. Everything remains the same when it comes to change.
Yeah, it is. I normally say that humans are the cockroaches of the planet, right? Because you just
Ain't nobody
can't
want to
get
hear
rid
a roach.
You just
Yeah.
can't get rid of us.
Right,
We're
the resilience.
super adaptable and resilient. You see people who, you know, they do heavy narcotics like until they're 80 or 90. You know, it's how could that be? You know, it's just humans, we adapt, and that is our superpower. That's why we're one of the dominant species on the planet.
Right. But, you know, we do adapt overall and generally. We find a way. I think that's human resilience. But I notice a lot of people that I know and love and care about, when things switch up on them, you know, they kind of spiral. Not able to roll with the punches. You know, if that's you, you know, take a deep breath. Take a moment, take a beat, and realize you will get past it. Don't let the change or the sudden alteration in your plans mess the rest of your days, mess up the rest of your week, or potentially mess up a whole life of relationships with people, you know? So we don't want y'all to go off the deep end. So this is what we're here for. We're here to talk about health, mental health, and be able to navigate the turmoil of life, especially for our men. You know, we were talking about this briefly, real quick, before the show came on, but these women's groups and the sisters circles and the female community, it seems like there's a lot of that, which is incredible. It's amazing.
Yes.
For community anytime, especially with the different groups that we have. But for the gentlemen, for the males, this is not something that is as common. And we're looking to change that, right? How we doing this, Omar?
It's not an easy thing because it's just like the zebra. When you ever heard that term, they go, "Oh, you can't change the stripes on the zebra." That's
Right.
because when they shaved his hair, his skin had the stripes. So it's deeply embedded, just like men. We are, oftentimes it's been said that we are compared to like sheep. Right? Humans just follow other ones. You ever seen that experiment where there was a smoke in the room and everybody's in knowing that this is a setup except that one guy, but they tend to follow everybody. No one got up to check the fire, touch the door that it was hot or nothing. But humans, we just happen to follow others. But we also have that ability to stand out. That's why there's leaders and champions and people who rise to the occasions, against incredible odds. So how are we doing this, you ask me?
Yes.
It's all in the mind. That's where it is. Know thyself. You have to start, because if you don't have a clear headspace, you can't be disciplined. You can't be consistent. You can't be happy or feel joy or get some goals that you're looking forward to and then work toward them. You have to clear your headspace first.
Right. That's one of those things. It's so necessary, but it's easier said than done. Right. You grew up in Brooklyn, right?
I did. We're coming out of Red Hook. We didn't even come from the projects. We came from the back, like where IKEA is. We were that poor. But then we ended up like in Sunset Park area. But I'm Brooklyn, stand up.
I'm sure there's turmoils, things you've gone through, learned past, experiences that shaped you that you may not necessarily indulge in today, but have had an impact on you. And this is, we want to let people know that I know a lot of the times people look at me and say, "Oh, you're so happy. How are you so happy?" And I look at you and I say, "How are you so happy?" Right? And so I know what that feeling is like. And to be able to navigate some of the painful, traumatic things in life, what were some of those things? If you don't mind sharing some, this could be impactful for a lot of people right now. Like some of the turmoils of life, living in the city or, living in poverty or one of those, those things that stuck with you that you had to get over.
Thank you so much. This is a wonderful opportunity for me to share my story. And, coming out of Red Hook, Brooklyn and being poor and that sense, comes with lots of other things. I was brought up in a household that there was lots of alcohol and physical abuse. Imagine being at a family's dinner and Christmas and New Year's, and then a fist fight breaks out in the living room. This is the type of thing that I was brought up in, and if I didn't use chemical dependencies, that would have been the surprise. So my old man left when I was 9, but he probably checked out emotionally like years before that, But just when the teenage years came, the streets were waiting for me with their arms open, like, "Come on, we're your family. We love you. We're honorable," and things of that nature. And then all of the other things came, alcohol and drugs and all sorts of promiscuous relationships and things of that nature. So, my success rate is 1,000% because I'm still here. There's lots of people who didn't make it. It was just like a slight hairpin turn of a decision, and they're not here anymore. And I was right there with them, but yet I am here. So
that is a blessing.
It is a blessing, and I'm here to tell my story. That's why I want to speak out, to help someone. That's what we're here for. I believe all humans are here to help one another. We're one unit walking. We're not separate. We experience separate things. That's true. But we're all one unit walking on this planet.
I would consider you a very emotionally balanced human being, not just a man that has, very good control of his emotion, but as a human being, but specifically as a man. This is not common, for us to be so zen. Is there a defining moment that brought you into this realization of having control over your emotions and getting past some impulses?
I'm glad that you asked that, because I was thinking about that coming along the way, about all of the traumatic things that have happened in my life, right? These are the things that shape and mold us and push us too, because humans, we like comfort. Whoever made us like that. It's that security system that we have that's right in the frontal lobe of your brain. Like, watch out, be careful, across the street, look both ways, and things of that nature. But we don't grow when we're comfortable. This is what scientists already know. It's a fact. So all of those traumatic things that I went through, once you start stacking them, I'll be like, hey, wow, man, like, I am a superhero. Like, I should be levitating off the ground, actually, So it's some of those things that I think back and I stack them and I go, hey, I am strong, I am resilient, I am powerful, and I'm gonna take these things in my utility belt, my Batman utility belt, and just use them.
That's absolutely critical. The tools. Let's talk about some tools real quick. Give me your 3 top tools.
Wow. The first one is definitely the breath work, right? Because we have the most powerful tool. It's sitting right under our nose. There's also physical exercise. For me, I run like 6-7 miles every day. Sometimes I go hard like that, And then meditation. We need to be quiet, because we love to pray. Oh man, when things get hard, oh Lord, please help me, But then God is trying to give you the answers. But we both can't speak at the same time. One of us has to be quiet.
Ooh, say that one more time.
We both cannot speak at the same time, even here on this radio station. One of us has to be silent, because people listen, they'll be like, oh, well, what's the chatter? I don't know. What's the message? No, one is quiet and then one speak. So with God or the Creator, whatever name you want to put on that thing, you need to be silent. So meditation, start with 2 minutes, start with 3, but do something, but stay still, be quiet, listen. It's powerful.
That's absolutely powerful. Man, WACR 90.3 FM radio, the voice of Harlem. You already know.
Once again, back is the incredible WHCR 90.3 FM, the voice of Harlem.
Oh, yeah. So y'all now rocking with the People's Herbalist and Omar from Omziel Healing Sanctuary as we are discussing mental health, specifically for our men. And, we got something incredible coming down on Saturday, this coming Saturday, in Nicholas, Brooklyn.
Shout out to Nicholas, Brooklyn.
Shout out to Monique from Nicholas, Brooklyn, the oldest and longest running minority-owned wellness space in Brooklyn. Over 50 years, they have been standing and serving the community. And we got to show them love, and we got to make sure that we keep their doors open with our support, because their doors are always open to support us. So I think that's an important thing for us to do as a community, as people that want to get better. We got to make sure that we are supporting and patroning the spaces that hold community for us. So this event, what was your intention behind having this event over there, specifically at Nicholas BK?
Well, speaking with other brothers within that circle and all men in general in my area, men are always speaking about, hey, there's no space for men to gather. I have a voice, and there's always something for women. You know, what about our health? You know, what about the prostate? What about our nervous system? What about our heart? You know, what about the high blood pressure? Like, I got to go to the doctor and wait for him to tell me, you know, so it was some of those things. And then I was asked, you know, to do this. So I'm on assignment. You see, I have that assignment given to me. I don't have to do it. I could just turn it down, but I decided not to turn it down. I'm here to fulfill this thing right here that I know that I'm born for. I'm here for that purpose. Yeah, I like to buy nice things, and you know, everybody likes to have something, but to experience that, right? Because it's not an easy thing to get up and speak in front of people, let alone organize something, right? Now I'm organizing people. I got to get the food vendor and the music and, you know, the speakers and then the marketing and all of that. But now I have to get up and I have to speak to them and tell them, hey, I'm living this also. So I'm not only talking about it.
Right. I think that's a good caveat to build upon too, because you're not just talking about doing things, you're actually executing and making these things happen. And in that process, there are a lot of obstacles dealing with human beings, other human beings that might not necessarily see the vision and make their own alterations, where you have to pick up the pieces and,
Man, don't get me started,
and put them back on, right? Then you have the fiscal responsibility of, you know, down payments and all those things, which is another. I think it's a big topic worthy of having a discussion, because nobody really talks about how fiscal health, like financial wellness, impacts a man's mental health, right? This is got to be the most silent of them all, right? They say hypertension is the silent killer, but stress, the majority of stress in life, whether it be in a relationship, whether it be just your individual living scenario, the money. Right? Your financial wellness. What do you have? These bills are piling up. There's always something that is a direct threat to your security. When we're thinking about Maslow hierarchy of needs, you need a shelter, you need food, you need safety, right? If you don't have money, those three things are now in jeopardy. And there is no larger stress. There's no larger threat to your family system, to your health, than having insecurity in that faction.
Yes.
So I think this is something that we should all be aware of. And for the men out there, you know, you're working hard, you're doing 40 hours a week, you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're doing everything that you can to put food on the table for your kids and making your happy wife, happy life, right? You're doing everything that you can, but you always seem to be paying Peter to robbing Peter to pay Paul, and just to stay above float, right? That's something that I know a lot of men are dealing with on a constant basis. So this is okay to have these conversations. It's all right to say, hey, look, man, I know everybody got bills, right? We're not telling you to go and complain about your financial situation. That is not what I'm saying. But I am saying that it's okay to join community and find a circle of gentlemen that are going through some of the same problems and having these conversations and seeing how there are opportunities to uplift each other.
Yes, definitely. You know, as quiet as it's kept, the other races, if you look at them a little closer, you see that that's how they move. They help one another. They support. They might not like that guy. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to go to lunch to him, but they always stick with him. Why? Because there's $500,000 sitting on the table, and we have to make some decisions here. Instead of saying, oh, well, I don't like him because what he said to me last week or last month or last year. No, they work together and they help each other. And that's one of the things where we need to get much more stronger on. So in this circle on July 11th at Nicholas, Brooklyn, we also have a good brother called, his name is Kevin McKnight, right? And I found him. He's a great brother, and he's into the finances and investment, and I'm looking for him to bring that to the table and tell brothers, hey, you know, it's great to have nice things, you know, but we need to start investing our money. We should always, because right when you're a kid, they go, oh, you make sure you save some money, boy. I put a few, yeah, but it's about investment. Saving, 50 cents today in a couple of days is not even worth 50 cents anymore.
Right.
So we should try to find those investments, whatever it looks like. Maybe you have a product that you want to sell, put it together, or a program as well too. You need to invest your time, your energy into those things. Because you're right, as men, they look at us as leaders. I have 2 small kids at home. And, I'm constantly, when we have these conversations, they're looking at me as the leader, bro. Like, I get this moment where I'm almost beside myself saying, they're looking at me to make decisions financially here. I need to be prepared, man, and get it together. Yeah, I always try to keep that in mind.
It's true. And it's difficult to do it on your own many times, I never take it for granted the blessings that it is to find your purpose and your passion, right? And I feel like it's almost overstated and a little bit cliche and slightly disrespectful to just tell people, oh, you just need to find your purpose, without realizing the story that they've come from, without realizing the trauma that they carry, or the limitations and barriers that they put on themselves over time, right? And trying to unpack those things and peel back that onion. A lot of times there's professional assistance required, and that's okay. That's another thing that I wanted to highlight. It is all right to go seek a mental health specialist. It is okay to see a therapist. It is okay to see a psychiatrist if necessary. If you are dealing with these unpleasant thoughts, if you are dealing with a struggle to make your next move on a day-to-day basis, it's all right to look for help, right? We have one of the first steps where we have community. You come and speak with other men that have some similar storylines, maybe have some more seasons, more years of life that they've experienced that they can, partake and share with you. But it is definitely all right to go reach out. And especially, they have these resources now. And I want to shout out to Mount Sinai Adolescent Health Center. And this is for people between 10 and 26 years old. They will provide mental health counseling, therapy, and family therapy for people that, they require this or they're looking for this. These resources is totally free if you're 10 to 26 years old. So you're over 26, that might not work out for you, but there are hotlines that you can call as well. But this is a very, very critical thing. And if you are hearing this, if this is resonating with you in any way, shape, fashion, or form, I encourage you, I implore you to come out on Saturday, July 11th, Nicholas, Brooklyn, to this event. This is dedicated to our men. It's not saying the women can't attend, because women can learn as well. But this is specifically for the gentlemen. We're holding space. There are going to be some incredible speakers. Are we allowed to give the lineup? Can you do that?
We can give a lineup of men, sure, but there's also,
some surprises?
There's some surprises. I like to keep it like that. And you made an interesting point earlier about the sisters being invited and they can come in. Well, actually, this is a men's gathering here. And this is the facts, some things that men would like to say, but will not say in front of women. You see, so I envision Monique being the only sister in the room there. Okay. You see, because men need to let some personal things out. Men are not going to say these things in front of women because they go, I don't want to seem weak or something like that, so. But we also envision, having future events where women are there with the men as a men's gathering and sitting across with them, for them to say, hey, this is what I like in brothers. Why aren't there more of that? Or, I just can't stand when brothers do this, or, or something like to that effect.
So there's opportunity for that in the future. But this event is not that. This event is for the brothers, for the men, for the
to share, to get the
gentlemen,
counsel of men, to receive the wisdom of men. You see, they've taken that out of our society. But we're here to tell you, we are here.
Yes, we are. And man, I'm excited too because I know that there's a lot of brothers that are looking for side hustles, looking to generate income, looking to do something because they have a calling, right? I know now it's been 10 years for me, which is crazy, as creating my company and the People's Herbalist and our different products, which y'all can find on thepeoplesherbalist.com. But there is many iterations and growths over these past years. I'm seeing people coming into the industry and sharing knowledge. Sometimes it's recycled knowledge, sometimes it's stuff that they read out of a book without much experience, but it can still be valuable. Then there's individuals that want to create products and share those products with people and sell those products. And there's a right and a wrong way to do it. So I want to share my experience in that journey of creating products and selling products online and being in markets and, doing corporate wellness things. I'm going to open up my heart and my playbook for the men that are interested in having products and services in the wellness space. So if that is of interest of anybody, you are more than welcome to join us July 11th in Nicholas BK. And the time is it's an evening event.
It is 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yep, so 6 to 10. Enjoy a nice evening with your brethren and discuss mental health, wellness, the tools, talk about your problems, we talk about solutions.
Sure.
We talk about, a lot of things.
Yeah, you get lots of answers too. And you made a powerful statement earlier about that you want to be able to share these things with the public about your journey. And too many people out there are gatekeeping. They go, oh yeah, well, if you gave me $953, I can show you in 4 days, come on, I could probably find that on YouTube also,
Oh
but
man, don't get me started.
But I'm saying here you are as a seasoned veteran, for lack of a better word at the moment, sharing these things with people that you go, hey, turn left, turn right, go forward, and you might want to try that, try this, go here, here's the resources, look into this, that's powerful, bro, super powerful.
It is. And I definitely will say this too, on to that point. I wish that there was somebody that would have dedicated time and energy to help me along this journey so I didn't have to go through so many pitfalls and scrape my knees and bump my head, in a business manner. And I want to be that resource for others. And it's important now because you mentioned other communities, right? That they will uplift each other when it comes to building a business and financial security for the entire group and family systems.
That's right.
We got to do that. And I am 1,000% committed to that. And, we created our whole People's Healing group that people are welcome to join on our WhatsApp group.
Love that group.
Growing community. We got some awesome individuals in this community, which I'm very proud of. We got Harriet Tubman's great nephew in our group. It's really awesome to know that there's good men, not just men, but there's also great women as well doing some things that want to grow. So that community is open for people, but this is not about that. I just want to highlight the importance of growing together, right? We have an ambassador program, and I think that's probably one of my favorite and most impactful contributions for people because I don't charge for people to be a part of my ambassador program. And there's no stipulations. It's just authentically, you want to be better, you want to grow, you want to have items that you can help your community with. I'm here to help you do that and to provide some insights at the same time, which I love. And we're seeing amazing things happen. When you have community of good-hearted people, the human resource is the most valuable thing. It's not your service, it's not your product, it's not your sales pitch. It's the people that are operating with you alongside you to make the vision come to life. So that is very important, man. So we got to make sure that we do better in keeping community, which is another reason why we highlight the importance of coming out in the community this Saturday, July 11th.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Nicholas, Brooklyn. Right? So we're going to go through, wait a second. I didn't do a shout out for WHCR's 40th year. All right, I got to give a shout out to this radio station serving Harlem. It has been commercial free for 40 years. The Voice of Harlem, WHCR 90.3 FM. This is for the people to share, for the people to learn, for the people to grow. So the call lines are open. If anybody hears these topics and is inspired to give some 2 cents or anything, the number is 212-650-6903. The call-in line is open. If you have some questions for Omar, if you have some questions about the event, if you have some statements or comments that you want to build upon when it comes to our men, melanated men, and our mental health. If there's anything that you're struggling, you want to get off your chest. Hey, look, we're here to listen. And nobody can see your face. You don't even have to give your name if you don't want to, but you can let off some steam and address a grievance if that is cathartic for you.
Or add to the conversation.
Add to the conversation. If there's something you want to hear about, you can do that too. 212-650-6903 here on WHCR 90.3 FM radio, the Voice of Harlem. So we are also, this thing called trauma, right? Everybody is dealing with trauma, right? I don't want to, it's like excuses, right? Everybody got excuses. Everybody got traumas. Everybody got things that are impacting them sometimes in a negative. But it is on us. The onus is on us to take negative experiences and transmute them into positive results. But you first got to address these traumas. You have to acknowledge these traumas. You have to see how these traumas and these pains and the processing of these pains, it may not disappear, but you have to show up every day with those things and having the mechanisms to cope with these pains. Sometimes, like I lost my grandmother. That pain is never going to go away. But I have to deal with it. I have to find a way to take that pain, the memories, the good times, and turn that into something positive. Like, for example, I'm here on the radio this morning in Harlem, and my grandmother was a proponent for community activism in Harlem. She lived in South Carolina. She passed in South Carolina, but a lot of her time as a youth was up here. So I take those memories and you transmute them. And it's easier said than done, but it takes time. It takes time for you to sit in silence.
It does.
Right?
It does, and embrace some of those things. It makes me think of Rumi, which was a mystic, right? And Rumi, he wrote many things, poetry, and there's one of my favorite that he wrote called The Guest House. And it speaks about, here you are in the house, it's the guest house where other things come to visit you. Depression, pain, loss, suffering. He says, open the door, let them in. Welcome them into your home. It's okay. Why? Because they could be clearing out your house for other better things to come through. Instead, we put walls up, right, Danny? But the same wall that keeps out depression keeps out happiness also from coming in. So my take is that we need to learn to embrace all of these things. It's the richness of life. It's what we're here for, to experience things, or else we would just be living under a rock. But we're not. Life is an interactive sport. You have to be in it. You can't sit in the stands and expect to win the championship, cup. You have to be out there in the arena. You have to embrace all of these things. Come to terms with a lot of them. I've suffered, and people have put abuse on me. Am I supposed to be hating them for the rest of my life? No. Just accept them. I don't want to have lunch with them. What I'm saying? We're not going out, with each other. But, hey, okay, I accept that. That's what happened. I can't do anything about that. I have to come to terms with that. I can't be unhappy and be mad around here for that. No, just embrace it, man.
Embrace it. There's a lot of people that hold on to grudges. There's a lot of people that hold on to the pain of being disappointed or slighted or not treated in the way that they were expecting. And that, holding on to that, is dangerous. It is disease causing, right? That is a pathogen. That is a pathogen, and disease causing is the same thing for my younger crowd. But just pathogenic emotional baggage of holding on to traumas and not expressing them in the appropriate manner. We don't want that. And we want you guys to just realize that it's okay to release these things. Doing it in a manner that is appropriate.
Right.
In a community of people that want to help you. You don't just dump your problems on people that didn't ask for this.
Right, I know.
That in itself is another problem. Emotional dumping. I know people do that. I'm sure you get a lot of that.
Yes.
Because I get it. We're empathic people. So
exactly. So they come with that.
They come with
especially in the men's circle. Like
Yeah.
I've joined other men's circles, like on a Zoom call, online, and then it was just one big complaint fest. They were just dumping. I'm like, nah. Listen, where's the solutions? Like,
Right.
come on now. We can't just go on like that. So
you can't go the whole time talking about. There is a place and time for talking about problems, but it must be followed by talking about solutions.
Exactly.
You cannot end the conversation. You
Right.
can't start and end
So,
with the problem.
Danny, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you mentioned that, dealing with some of these things and embracing them. How do you deal with them when something comes up in your life? Do you go out, and punch the pillow or scream in it, or, do you, high dive off a cliff, or, what is it that you do? What are your tools in order to let some of those things out?
Well, thank you for asking. I do a lot of nature in many different ways. And I appreciate walking by the Hudson River. I love going up on the cliffs, right? I don't jump, but I look from the highest of the cliffs to overlook where the vultures and the eagles soar, right? Having a vantage point from a high place and looking, it gives you a different perspective. And then in that environment, I love to breathe deep, right? Knowing that breath is life and transmutation comes from activation, right? So breathing in nature is, I think, one of my secret sauces in order for me to keep my head on right in the midst of a lot of stressful moments, challenging moments, growth opportunities, right? When it comes to friends, family, specifically family, the ones that you love the most, give you the most turmoil in life.
Yeah.
But yeah, going out and walking in nature, exercise, playing, right? Whether it be basketball, whether it be pickleball, whether it be chess, whether it be poker, right? Playing is something that I feel really helps me stay grounded, stay in alignment. So yeah, play in nature.
That's beautiful. For me, it's running helps a lot for me, because they say that running is really just moving meditation. That's really what it is. You're paying attention to your breath, which is, the basic teaching of meditation is just to pay attention to your breath. So here I am running. I'm up at 4 a.m. I'm out the door before 5, and it takes me about an hour and 20 minutes, or maybe if I'm feeling hot and sexy, less than that, but sometimes more too, because I walk and I run, but here I am in the dark, just running, and my thoughts are coming up, things are bubbling up, just when it's cold or it's raining or I'm tired, and then I'm saying, man, I'd love to be home, and then I start getting these other thoughts. Oh, remember that time you did that? Oh, remember, look what happened to you. Look, you suffered all that pain. And then I'm like, hey, wait a minute, but I was out here yesterday, and I own these streets. I own this. I'm out here, But that little voice, Danny, you see, that mental health, that little voice, it's always there. Always. You can never get rid of it. We develop it as kids, but it's always nagging at you. And then when I'm out there in the street, I'm like, hey, I'm doing it, And then I'm screaming out into the sky like, hey, I'm here. What do you want from me? I'm doing it. It's powerful, you see? And there I am. I let it out, you see? And then the answers come. Once I stay silent, then it comes. Like, okay, you are doing it. That's right. Now do this and do this other thing. Call this person, create that thing. And I'm like, yes, of course, you know. It gives clarity. Yeah, so I highly recommend that physical thing you're talking about, that activity. Go, play, run, walk. You don't gotta run, walk. I don't know. Do squats or yoga. Yoga is dated like over 5,000 years, man. Anything that lasts that long, we should be looking into it.
That's a truth. That is a very big truth. History, time-tested activities. Engage. You know, people have a negative connotation against yoga. Also, qigong, and a lot of these ancient practices of other cultures. You know, in minority communities, they may not automatically accept it, especially in the religious circles, right? You know, some of our elders like,
Taking the
oh
words out of
no,
my mouth, right?
you know, we Christians, we don't do none of that yoga yigi.
Yeah. But it's not religion.
It's not religion at all.
No,
Has nothing
at
to do
all.
with that.
Nothing to. Yoga just means yoke. What are you yoking? You know, your mind, your body, and your soul together. You're yoking it together and moving in unison. We have to do that. Oftentimes things are separate. You know, your body is telling your mind telling you, your spirit saying something else. It's like you're being in the ship and the guy who's shoveling the coal into the heat, he's giving the orders to the guy, you know, moving the ship up top. He can't even see what's going on, yet the guy up there is listening to the guy down there. Come on, family, let's get it together.
We need
can do
to.
it.
We
can do
need
it.
to.
We can do it.
Absolutely.
We're
And
doing it.
together. Doing it together, right? Isolation is something that they have embedded in us. I think after COVID, isolation, social distance, that time was very traumatic and had long-lasting effects. All right, it's been 6 years now, you know, since the world stopped, and we're still battling through it. I know it feels cliche, and I almost feel like I'm beating a dead horse by even talking about the traumas of COVID again, but we cannot minimize the impact that it had on us, not just the sickness, because I'll go for a long time talking about the illness and the fear factor and the inappropriate activity that was forced on everybody, but the social distance and the isolation, man. That isolation keeps wounds hidden, and community gives healing somewhere to grow. So, you know, that's why holding these spaces, especially for men, is very, very critical.
Yes, and you know, one of the statistics that I learned is that men are more likely to suicide 4 times more than women. You see, but yet women, here they are, let's pay attention, they're getting together. They're helping one another. They're speaking. They're listening. How about coming through on July 11th? You don't got to speak. You don't got to say nothing. Just sit in the back. That's it. Get a little pad and paper out and take some notes, man. You know, just listen. That's it.
Right. And that's all right. Sometimes you just need to be in the atmosphere in which people are doing, and you don't need to actually participate.
Right. You talk about the Schumann resonance. We've spoken about that before.
Yes.
Everything is just vibration. One, you know, at a certain vibration, the other one start moving the same way.
Yes. Honestly, that's probably one of my favorite things about church. Going to church and being in community and hearing good music and being surrounded by souls that want to do better and be better. That is medicine by itself.
For sure. I saw this documentary years ago. It was about God. And this one brother was saying that he went to church. He was in the band. He was like, I don't even believe in God, but I love coming here.
That's crazy. Yeah, and then we got people that, you know, they believe in God. They read the scriptures. They read the good book. And they're not practicing what they are reading. They are not following the instructions, even though they have the deepest of beliefs. And they will tell you that you are going to the fiery depths because you're not believing in what they believe. But then, at the same time, they're not following the instructions of the leader.
Preach on, brother.
And that is, it's a very detrimental thing. And I know I've had conversations with other people, because I would often recommend people, hey, why don't you go to church? You know, oh man, the lashback of the judgment that they received from people that are heavy churchgoers. I want anybody to think about this. Everybody think about this. One of the main rules, you shall not judge. And if you are here in a high horse judging people because they don't have the same faith as you do, you might want to take a look in the mirror and reevaluate your scripture. And come to balance, man. God is love. That's the main point that I wanted to say on that.
Appreciate that. And those are some of the things that we need to highlight, you know, for men also, is, you know, this judgment thing. Because humans are just like that. Like right now, if you went to the park, you go, oh, it's a beautiful tree. Oh, those are nice leaves. Oh, the kids playing, and it's so sweet. Or, oh, look at the water. See, those are all judgments. You see, instead, we just need to be present. You see, and this is where other belief systems are telling us, just pay attention. That's what you have to pay attention. Just be still, and just allow the wind to blow on you. Not, oh, it's a nice wind. You know, we can't help but do that. But just allow it. Just be in the presence of that moment right there. It's a challenge, but it's like going to the gym. You have to, you know, flex your muscles a few times.
Exactly. You got to. Man, there was a couple of questions that I don't think we're going to get a chance to answer.
I was waiting for them, bro. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Hit me with one.
I got one. All right. So one of the questions that we had from the community was, what have you witnessed when men finally allow themselves to be emotionally honest with one another?
Ooh, man, talk about breakthroughs, bro. And this is one of the reasons why I do enjoy doing this, because you get to be a part of someone's journey and they break through something that they've been carrying around for years, bro. And that might come in the form of medication too. You know, a brother was taking the antidepressant medicine. He was like, oh, I've been taking it for more than a decade. A decade you've been taking? I said, look, you might want to take half of that, bro. You know, just try that, because I'm work with you. And then helping him through the process and all that, he got rid of them totally, bro. And he was able to express himself and let those emotions out instead of, you know, the depressing them, like pushing them down. He let them out, and you just become a different person. So I love it, man.
That's incredible, man.
It's much needed. It's much needed. I see many things, you know, lots of painful stuff too, where brothers are walking around. There's one brother, he shared some information. I kid you not, Danny, it felt like he sucked the air right out of the room. It was that deep, bro. I started thinking, like, I thought I had it bad when I was a kid. It's like, wow. But after being with him, you know, little energy work, smudging and talking and crying and all of that, oh man, the guy can't stop calling me, telling me, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You changed my life, Omar. And I'm like, I didn't change your life, bro. I helped you do what is it that's already inside of you.
Held space for that transformation.
I often tell you that we're like ushers at the movie theater. We're just helping people get back to their seat without knocking somebody else's popcorn over. Why? Because the movie's yours. It's your movie. We're just the ushers.
I love that. That's incredible. And I got to give a caveat here on WACR 90.3 FM radio. We're not diagnosing or treating or curing any diseases. If you have medications that you're taking, yes, we want to do everything that you can to make sure your body is working without the need of it. But always follow the instructions of your trusted medical professional. Hopefully that medical professional has the inkling of helping you get better naturally and supporting those endeavors. But we do recognize the need for some people to have additional substances that can help them navigate a stressful, tumultuous landscape in 2026 and beyond. But man, we have so many things I wanted to get to jump into, but time is slipping away. This hour always goes by so fast, especially when I have good guests and good energy that we can bounce and vibe off of.
Thank you. As you see the shirt that I've chosen this shirt specifically, bro. Why? Because I want to express myself. Very colorful. Let people know, hey, life is beautiful, man. We should walk around with colors. You know, we should pay attention. I wear black all the time. Yeah, you might want to wear white or green or orange or, colors have vibrations
They
and you're
absolutely
sending out
do.
messages.
Yes. So that's one of the hidden things of fashion. A lot of people in fashion know this is how you express yourself, but not recognizing the real impact of the psychology of colors and the vibratory expression from these different shades and hues and how they can impact somebody's perception and their brain patterns.
I always feel better when I have brighter clothes on.
Right.
I wear white all the time. My wife says, "Oh, you're santero." I'm like, "No, I'm not part of any religion. I just like white, man."
But yeah, man, it's powerful. And we're going to be discussing this and so much more on Saturday, July 11th at Nicholas BK from 6 o'clock to 11. This is the Men's Mental Health and Leadership Experience with Omziel Healing Sanctuary. The evening is going to be dedicated to just honest conversation, leadership, healing practices, and building stronger communities through connection and support. There's nothing better than growing together. I'll say that 1,000 times, times 5. We see the most successful communities, they work together. The most successful individuals, they have a community that they can rely on and build upon. So acknowledge that reality. Come share your thoughts, share your experiences, and grow with us, man. I'm really excited to do this. It's been a long time, and we got some more things coming up as well, but let's focus on this event, man. Any last words for our folks before we join today?
If you're a man, if you know a man, somebody who needs help, I could throw a feather at someone and hit them that need help around here, especially men. We have so many, things that are put upon us, but we're ready. We're ready to stand together as one unit and help one another. Come on down, July 11th, 6 p.m., Nicholas, Brooklyn.
Yes, yes, yes. I'll tell you, every man carries a story. Some stories are marked by triumph, others by trauma, but none of us are defined only by what we've been through. Healing begins the moment we're honest enough to acknowledge the weight we've been carrying, and courageous enough to let others walk beside us. So with that, I want you to go outside today, get some deep breathing, some fresh air, smile at somebody, plan for success, and have the mindset of growth. And join us on Saturday. All right, so I appreciate you guys' time and energy for this morning. Go be great, and I'll holler at y'all next week on the People's Healing Hour. Peace. All right. There we go. Let me make sure we got this on right. Oh, hold up. Actually, we got like 1 second. Hold on, let me play this one song. Check this
I
out.
was waiting for the song.
An economic issue. It's to make sure that parents will know.
There we go.
Welcome to the garden.
We got a new track.
I hear it. Nice. Ooh-wee.
Yeah. Oh
my God. Nice.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, bro.
From the soil where the wisdom stays. Grandma had herbs long before the craze. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, no fake disguise. Just roots in the ground and truth in our lives. Every leaf got a purpose, every plant got a name. Different paths to wellness, but we're growing the same. We don't chase the trend, we return.
That's it. We're gonna do a little sample. That's it. All right, we gotta let the next show come on.
Okay.
Yo, appreciate y'all for tapping in with us on YouTube, man.
Yes.
If y'all are in the area, in Brooklyn, in New York, in the city at all, come pull up on Saturday, July 11th at Nicholas, Brooklyn, with Omziel and the People's Herbalist and so many other people. We're going to have a great time.
Great time.
Hopefully y'all can tap in
Good
with us.
food too. We secured a vendor, alkaline food, you know, vegan, but there's other beet trees, with juice and all kinds of things, man. Come through, come through. You're gonna have a great time. Trust, guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Ciao.
Now let nature guide you home.